Good day, good people. I got a question on the live, and I feel as though I need to explain it a little bit further because of the fact it is something that's very relevant, not only to the person who asked the question, but then also to anybody who has worked in software development and in some cases even just worked in IT in general. On the Tech Talk Thursday live that I did recently, a individual asked the question of saying that he was a software developer. I believe he was in college. I'm not 100% sure. And that sometimes when he's working on whatever coding project that he's working on, he gets stuck. Like he can't figure out how to do something a certain way. He can research it. He doesn't know how to phrase it, correctly or something else of the nature. He just gets stuck on the project that he's working on. And for lack of a better term, is the software developer's equivalent of writer's block. The question that he had was, how do I even manage to get through that? Now, the response that I gave was not what a lot of people were expecting. But once I explained the response, then it was like, that makes sense. The light bulb went off. What was my response? You're probably wondering. Glad you asked. But be sure to comment and like if you have any other questions in the meantime. My response to that individual was, you need to go outside or you need to do something different, or both even. Now, most people are like, wait, you're a software developer that can't figure out a problem and you told somebody to go outside? Yes, I did. Why would you tell somebody to go outside? That is a great question. So from what I know, from a non-IT and technical perspective, one of the things that I know is when you go outside, not only does it boost your immunity because direct sunlight on the skin causes an increase of the vitamin D in the body. Like it's just a known fact. Like research has been done on that and it's already out there. So you can go look that up if you question it. Also, there's a correlation based on some studies that being in sunlight is known to boost your immunity. Now, whether the immune system and the vitamin D have a correlation, that is not, or at least I'm not aware of, to be confirmed. However, going in sunlight addresses both of those problems. So if you're vitamin D deficient, which, believe it or not, a lot of people, especially those in America, are vitamin D deficient, well, going in sunlight can fix that real easy. And you don't need to be in sun all day. I mean, it's been said that if you do 15 to 30 minutes per day, every day, your vitamin D will get back within its normal ranges. Another benefit of being outside is the fact that the sunlight also can impact your mood. The sunlight triggers some hormonal or even endorphin type of response in the body. And because of that, your mood becomes better. And if you have even just a little bit of depression, sometimes that being in direct sunlight will get you out of that depressive state. Now, I emphasize direct sunlight instead of just being outside in general, because of the fact being outside, some people consider being outside as in being in their car. Now, yes, you're outside if you are in your car. However, the light that has to go through the glass of the vehicle is not unfiltered sunlight. And it's something in that, which I'm not fully sure of, again, I'm not a scientist, that in that unfiltered sunlight causes a different body response than you being in your car in that sunlight coming through the window. Or even worse, you have tint on your windows, so it's even less direct sunlight with that scenario. Another thing that I mentioned was doing something different. Being a software developer means that you're constantly having to think and you have a high mental capacity to build out this code, whatever project that it may be working on. A lot of people do not understand this, but as someone who works in IT or as someone who is a software developer, you're constantly having to think through the problems that exist. It's not like you can just look at it and be like, oh, that's it. It's not always that. You sometimes have to put 2 and 2 together to get 4. And even then, it may not be 4, it may be 4.0001. What I'm getting at is when you get up to go do something different, it gives your mind a moment to relax. You're able to focus on something different. You're not having to do this same level of, or you're not having to output the same level of mental capacity to solve this software problem as you would be able to go and watch people walk down the street or even call somebody up just to have a quick chat with them. That being said, it gives your mind a moment to take a break, to shift and do something different. And then when you go back to that problem, you're now not in such of a high stress or in high mental demand state of mind. And you're able, in some cases, to actually figure out that problem. Or you're able to come up with the correct keywords to enter into ChatGPT or even Google for that matter to find the correct answer to this software problem that you have. Once I explained those two things to the people that were on the live, they were like, that makes sense. And the biggest thing is, another thing that I think a lot of people do not realize is that the culture that we have, at least in the Americas, I know there's other countries that do things differently, but a lot of our American-based lives is centered around being indoors. You go home, you're indoors, like I am right now. You go to an office to do work, you're indoors at that office. A lot of times these offices do not have spaces outside where you can work outside and then be able to function in or do your work in that type of environment. A lot of people live in cities and they live in apartments. Those apartments don't necessarily have outdoor spaces that you can use unless it's a pool. And to be honest with you, working with a laptop next to a pool is not a bright idea. Water, electricity, they don't go well. That being said, keep these things in mind. One, you need to go outside, and you need to go outside on a regular basis, especially if you work in an office or you work at home indoors. Two, be willing to change what you're doing, even if it is for 5 to 10 minutes. Because I found, at least for my sake and for other people's sake that were on that live, that sometimes just shifting what you're doing to something that's not as mentally demanding can help you figure out the problem and then go back to it and you're able to finish things out. And then finally, get some more outside time, move around because of the fact it helps your health. Hopefully that helps you out as a software developer and makes you more productive as a software developer. If you have any other comments or questions related to this particular topic, by all means, leave them down in the comments section. If you have not already, please be sure to subscribe and follow, and I thank you for watching.